Okay, so this is video 9, where we talk about how to regulate your nervous system, right, with self-compassion. So self-compassion is an evidence-based, right, researched um, intervention technique, practice, commitment to yourself, that really helps to heal your nervous system and also gives you a nice way to support yourself as an adult in the present moment when you're feeling really distressed. And maybe it's like, past trauma coming at you. Okay. So what I want to share with you is the joy of the research of self-compassion. So just nerd out with me for a minute. And if you don't want to nerd out and you're just like, hit me with the self-compassion, then go to the next video. Okay. So basically, right, when we talk about our social engagement nervous system, we're talking about attachment and authenticity, right, in a psychological way, right? So attachment is love, and right, and so the opposite of attachment is abandonment and rejection, right? And so also authenticity. We strive as humans, we thrive when someone sees us for who we authentically are, when we're really attached to someone and they value and see us for our authentic self. That's what we're going for, right? And so you can imagine you grow up in a house where nobody values and sees your authentic self. You develop this wounded nervous system, right? So go easy on yourself. And that's where this self-compassion practice is so brilliant. Hey, monster, cool it. So here we go. What the research shows, right? Self-compassion decreases your sympathetic nervous system response. Booyah. It increases your parasympathetic nervous system response. Who doesn't want that, right? It changes prefrontal cortex activity, which is associated with emotional regulation. Love it, right? Like I said, if this is too nerdy, just go to the next video, okay? So it gives you a better sleep, self-compassion. What? You get fewer symptoms of physical ailment symptoms just by developing a self-compassion practice, right? Holy smokes, right? So we don't practice self-compassion because we want to feel better, ironically, they say, right? You practice self-compassion because you're really out of sorts. And then ironically, you feel better, right? So anyway, I'm so like clinically and personally excited by the research around self-compassion because it literally heals those attachment wounds from childhood, and what happens is, as Bowlby, who is the fellow who is the founder of this attachment research that's so wonderful and so robust now in terms of healing, right? And he says, your patterns of protection from childhood become your prison, right? And your patterns of protection from childhood are rooted in the ways that you regulate your nervous system. Okay. So like I said, psychology is a science these days, right? And bless these awesome researchers who are doing all this research, right? But there's always a gap between the research and the practice, right? Praxis, they call that. And that's where I come in. I live in the gap between that. I love the research, but I also love the practice, right? And so this is where anyway, I'm going to just gush, right? Because I'm so into this research. It's amazing. And I hope that you love it as much as I do. Alrighty. So in the next little segment, right, I'm going to teach you to develop your own self-compassion practice.